had my name down in the factory. You had to have your name down for months and then before you even became 14.
Right.
There was no such thing then as you can go to college
No.
or anything else. You were just, your mother couldn't get you to 14 to get you into the factory to get the money on. And I actually started in the canteen there.
Right.
£3.50 a week.
God.
And was there, and because I started in the canteen, then when I went down to the floor, you know, where the machines and that are, I didn't have to do like message girl, they called you then, where you went and got thread for people and you went and done all the messages, everything had to be done for the machinists. So I didn't have to do that, I got straight onto a machine.
Well, do you want to hear my story? I went to school. I went to school for the tech. And on second year, Mamma, as I say, worked in the factory and she got me in for the summer. Now, that would have been, I was born in 1960, that would have been in 1974. But my birthday wasn't October, but I went in June 74.
God.
So, I'm in June, I wasn't even 14. And then when it come to the end of the summer, then because Mammy worked in the factory, she got me into the finishing room, you know, one where they did the packing of the boxes and things like that.
Aye.
And, well, I was kind of a message scared at first, but then I went on. But anyway, then when it comes to go back to school, my birthday's October, and Barry Boner, I don't know if you mind her or not, Breach Boner was her right name. She was the head teacher in the tech, and the tech was across the road. I was down now, McCarters.
Aye.
You know, across, know where the tech is now, you know, that's the McCarters I was on. I was never no other one.
Right, aye.
So I worked there, and then she called me over, and I went over, and she said, you'll have to leave, and blah, blah. And I says, I was making good money. I think I was making $5 a week. I thought it was great.
Aye.
And I says, I'm not leaving. And it was only 6 weeks between. And she says, well, you have to come back one day and between, you know, in the 6 weeks of the garage will take you, whatever. But I never went back.
Then we're put on a thing they called a belt. That's a team. There were so many girls on a team doing the same. From the pyjamas started till it went right to the top, till it was finished. But you had to keep going to keep the whole lot rest working as well. It was teamwork. And there's some girls could work quicker than others. So then if you were slow, they would give it out. What's keeping you?
And then a new manager came, and he was very modern and new. He was an innovator or a great, and he came and he introduced this whole new way of working and that. But then he came in with this new thing. Then it was all about presentation, and it was all about how the shirt was presented, and it was all about doing it up in a box. And the sales would be better if they were better presented in the shops and all, and displayed in an attractive manner, like.
But they worked like Trojans, all the workers, particularly the girls at the machines. They were like robots. You know, the way they moved, you know, just moving from one to the other. They never lifted their heads until it was their break time.
I enjoyed me working in the factory and clubman, like, and there was no bitchiness, you know, or nothing like that. Everybody seemed to get on, and the music would be playing all the time. The radio would be on all day, like, you know, and like the day Elvis Presley died, like there was girls crying, and you know, things like that.
It really was a great atmosphere, great crack with the boys you work with, and the girls in the canteen were brilliant. That was like home from home.
I remember one of the World Cups when it was played in South Korea and Japan, and the matches were early in the morning. They set up TVs in the canteens for us in order to watch the matches. The managers, the directors would all come down and watch the matches with us because everybody was interested in football, and especially Ireland playing. You know?
And it was a very exciting time. And it was great to be working in a company where, you know, for years in the clothing business, you were sort of thinking, geez, this is on its last legs, when are we going to close, you know? And then all of a sudden it was a bright future ahead, you know?
Adidas was they were a big supplier for Adidas, you know, in Germany.
I think we got an order for the Dutch World Cup squad, you know, and that.
The town was booming then, like, there was money. You know, you worked in the characters and you got paid on the off on a Friday lunchtime.
Right.
You know, and you had the whole weekend then, like, you know, so they were actually kind of putting their money back into the town.
Yeah.
The town started on a Wednesday night. There'd be music on a Wednesday night, there was music on a Thursday night, there was music on a Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, because some people wouldn't be starting at 12 o'clock on a Monday night.
So he was talking to me and they said, Paul, I was in Scotland and I was in England and I worked all over the place and I never really enjoyed my life to work in the foot of the road.
I can still think that I can remember the smell of the dye house.
Yeah.
Because it had a very distinctive smell when you're in an atmosphere when you walk through it.
The writing was on the wall, you know. It was a matter of time, I believe, you know, before it was going to hit, you know. And that reliance on a massive industry such as that, you know, it crippled the town, the surrounding area, even Derry.
Then we started developing plants in Morocco, you know. And initially it was just going to be sewing plants, you know. We were still shipping the fabric out to Morocco. And, you know, there were loads of people from Buncrana going out to, show, there were sewing instructors, women who, taught people, the methods of sewing. Yeah. Girls starting off. They were out there showing them how to sew the garments and all, work study work going out to see what methods they'd use out there. And, then when we developed the cutting way, there were the cutting manager and all was out there. So, everybody here was supporting that setup, because everybody knew that it was inevitable, with the way things were going, that things were going to move that way.
A big loss to the town. It still was a big loss to the town.
Aye.
Like when we finished, we were on the knitting room was shifted from the Shore Road to Ballinmacary, and we finished in the knitting room, stripping the machines down, getting them ready to be boxed and shipped to Morocco. But no, it was a big sad time. It was a sad time, and look, a lot of people. I would say if it Fruit of the Loom opened tomorrow again, the young ones would be glad of it.
I'm
they
sure.
Really would.
But and then when you saw then there quite recently them dismantling the warehouse,
yeah,
and your memory goes back. Like I can still remember McCormick's. They were the steel erectors on it, and I can still see the fellas, and you kind of got to know them all really well. And Louis, their boss, and them up climbing and up on these heights, and you nearly get sick looking at them, and and all that time went down and all the pressure to get it done in a certain time, and working and getting it done, and then it been used and it been a great success and the whole lot, and then the next thing people are selling it off for scrap, and you're just like, where did that all go wrong? Or so, I don't know if wrong is the right word to put it, but
what do you think the working conditions would have been like compared to the way they were here?
Very different.
Very
different. More, the men seemed to have the say, they would clap their hands a lot, the ladies would all come running,
Right.
Not a nice, very poor, a lot of poverty. You seen weans outside waiting on their mothers outside, the fact they get, sad. Like.
Look, there's so many great memories really are, Even as an outsider, so to speak, I was very, very much welcomed, and there's no doubt about that at all, Absolutely, and that to me was fantastic, And
I'm still friends with people who I started with in 1980,
Great place to work, very fond memories, very happy place.
I loved it. I loved doing what I was doing, but it was hard work.
It was great, I loved it,
All the factory girls, to my mind, were the salt of the earth, because they were the hardest working people ever I knew.